All right, I'm Scott with Michigan Pool News. I'm here with Kevin and Andy from Aquatic Source, and we're going to talk about some of our most frequent calls for 2011. This will kind of fit this month's issue of Michigan Pool News, a year in aquatics for everybody. So we picked kind of the four topics with Christy out of our office on the most calls that we have, and Kat, why don't you go ahead and start? What do you recall as being one of the most calls or most frequent calls?
One of the most frequent calls that we typically get is their pool filter is either the backwash handle is broken, they're getting cloudy water, their pressure on their tank is really high. So we'll go out and inspect the sand, lube the push-pull valve. If we do that every month or every 2 months, they typically won't break as fast as some of the operators break them.
Well, I like the way Kevin said that too, because I think I could bring up one theme to that is just preventative maintenance is a good idea.
Preventative maintenance is a great idea. It's good to have your filters sand changed every 5 years, 7 if you have really good water chemistry. And the only other thing to keep your filter clean and safe is if you've got any pool cleaning equipment, vacuum hoses, if you've got an automated dolphin, keep the pool vacuumed and keep your lint trap strainer clean to keep the debris out of your sand.
Should they be doing yearly inspections on their media and their filters?
Yes, a yearly inspection would be good to open up the filter at least once a year and check it and make sure.
What kind of stuff do you guys do when you pop the lid off? What do you look for? What are you thinking about?
You look for anything that doesn't look like beach sand. You want to dig down at least 4 to 6 inches and see if anything's clogged underneath the top layer of sand. If it's feeling really sticky and greasy, typically you want to get that filter sand changed pretty quick.
Yeah.
Because it only makes you have bigger issues later with water clarity and holding your chemistry in the pool.
Yeah, that makes sense. Andy?
One of the other problems we have are chemical controllers. We get a lot of calls where they're not working. Typically the problems are either dirty probes, because as the water goes by them you get the oils and mineral deposits on the probes. They stop picking up the right signal. Typically cleaning them about every 2 months or maybe once a month, taking the probes out, using a soap and water and a little toothbrush to clean the actual sensor probe, making sure that you remove all debris, and then periodically you might have to use a light acid solution on the tip to remove any minerals. When you do that, you have to make sure the controller is turned off for about 2 hours until it's flushed and back neutralized. Other than the controller not working, it can also be a chlorinator problem, where the chlorinator is being told by the controller to turn on, but the pump or the cal hypo system just isn't delivering because it could be a clogged or a problem with that unit. So cleaning of the chlorinators and cleaning of the chemical probes are usually one of the typical chemical control problems.
And again, that goes right back to preventative maintenance again. I mean, it's kind of a theme with that kind of stuff, I think. And I know that the cleaning of the feeders and the cleaning of the probes and stuff is important. Is there a lot of, I know that we've had a lot of calls in past history up against electrical or stray currents on controllers, and how does that affect them?
The stray current, actually, because you're picking up millivolts in the water, is what the probes or the sensors are actually picking up. Any stray voltage will cause those readings to wander because it'll pick up the stray voltage. And if that's a problem or part of the problem of the controller, is you actually would have to bond out or ground out that water sample line to get rid of the stray voltage.
Stray voltage. All right, Kev, we had a couple of things for each. What say you?
Another one of the common calls is water clarity, and that goes back to preventative maintenance, whether or not you clean your trap basket, if you're backwashing your filter on a timely basis, It also could do with what Andy was talking about, your chemical controller or your chlorinator being insufficient in its delivery. And for the most part, if you keep your water balanced, and especially after a big rainstorm when you get some acid rain or heavy bather loads, you want to make sure that you shock the pool and that you keep the pH balanced.
You said a lot of it's flow issues, though, eh? A lot of the times you see
A lot
it's
of the
just
times,
flow.
yeah, it's flow.
Really?
There's not enough water passing by the sand to keep the pool clean.
Yeah, one of the interesting things I saw was, I think it was Andy out on a job one time where actually made sure that he put his chlorinator in the manual position and actually go test the chlorine at one of the pool returns to make sure that the delivery is sufficient enough that it's going to keep up with heavy bather loads. And I thought that was pretty interesting. So, nope, another good one. Andy?
The pool motors. We get a lot of calls that there's a problem with the motor. We go out and we find that a lot of times either, as Kevin said earlier, the trap baskets are plugged, they're not cleaned on a regular basis, or because of water chemistry, it can actually destroy the bronze impeller or the brass impellers. So instead of having a full impeller, you might have a quarter of it, getting quarter flow of water back to the pool. That in turn makes the motor run hotter and it starts tripping the electrical services. So keeping the baskets clean, eliminate a lot of the motor problems other than a bearing that you typically will go out in a matter of anywhere from 2 to 4 years. Either replacement of the motor is required then, or depending on the size of the motor, replace the bearings and the shaft seal, which is affected by water chemistry.
I know we've had the question in here quite a few times from some of our YMCAs and some other of our clients. Bronze or cast iron?
Well, different manufacturers only have it in bronze or cast iron. Bronze is soft, so there is a problem of corrosion and if your water is real aggressive. Cast iron rusts, so if it rusts, you have a harder time getting that impeller off the shaft of the motor. So the cast iron holds up a lot longer, but there's side effects for everything.
Yeah, understood. Well, thanks, guys. This will help, hopefully, a few operators start asking some questions on their own equipment and what they need to do. So, all right, have a great day. Thanks for watching Michigan Pool News.
Thank you.